Coming up this week on the Braves Beach House podcast,
we discuss opening day of spring training 2026 at CoolToday Park.
We'll recap Welcome Week and hear from you in our new segment, Fan on the Street.
And I got to sit down with Braves PA announcer Art Ross.
All that and more ahead on the
Braves Beach House podcast. Opening day at CoolToday Park was a smashing success, Harrison.
It was great to have all the fans back in the building, even though we did start a little bit later.
About an hour rain delay. Didn't see that on the bingo card immediately for spring training 2026, but we kept the streak alive with no rainouts here at CoolToday Park.
That's correct.
So knock on wood for that. We had fun during the rain delay. We were hanging out with people eating hot dogs, and it was National Margarita Day. So the Tiki Bar was having a little bit of fun over there. So we made it through the rain day, and we got the game started, but not before.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun before the game, and I know we want to highlight all that. Of course, Rookie of the Year, Drake Baldwin, he got the nod, ovation for the crowd there before the game.
Yep, and Drake he actually ended up making up the one home run, was the only Brave scoring yesterday, but it was awesome to see the fans really embrace Drake. He's a star, and he's even on the cover of the Braves program this year for us at CoolToday Park, which is neat.
You'll get to see that in our segment at the end of the show. Also, before the game, we had a very special first pitch from Andrew Jones.
Everybody had their cardboard 25 signs, holding them up for him as he came out and threw one. It was a little bit high and outside, but he threw it to Ozzy, which was cool, both of them from Curacao. So that was neat to see that Braves Curacao connection even celebrated as Andrew was coming to be recognized for going to Cooperstown this year.
2026 Hall of Fame inductee. That's a big deal.
Pretty cool.
And then also rounding out our pregame festivities, we had a very special flyover from the Sarasota County Sheriff and their helicopters. That was very cool to see as well.
A chopper going by the stadium. That was real neat. Everybody looking up. That's always fun.
But so that was before the game, but we also had 9 innings of fun. Why don't you talk about some of that?
Yeah, that was the Braves. They've got to see a lot of different pitchers, and some of those pitchers gave up some runs, but that's why you play the game. That's why you're out here trying new things. We're hoping that our next 2 games, we have a little bit more offensive production, Harrison.
Yes, that is also one of the things on my list I'm looking forward to seeing.
And, the fan engagement was in that all-time high. Having Blooper and Palmer together at CoolToday Park, that was an experience, and I know that kept those fans happy during the rain delay.
Yeah, double trouble. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Blooper stole the grounds crew's gator while they were working on the field earlier and just took off down the warning track. That had me laughing this morning.
Yeah, and he was the first one out there to be jogging before the players even got it started warming back up for the rain delay, sloshing some of that tarp rain around. So he's a fearless animal, that Blooper.
Yep, and he'll be back here on March 16th for Palmer's Party 2. Make sure you get your tickets for that one.
It'll be great to see. I think he said he barked that 3 games he might be here for us this year.
Yes.
So he'll be out of his cage in Atlanta and dancing under the palm trees with us here in Northport.
But yeah, other than that, at opening day, we had kids running the bases. That's always a fun time. They get to go to home plate this year.
Yep.
Big development there.
It's still a dirt-to-dirt promotion, kids. Need you to stay off that grass, but we are letting you cross home plate this year. And parents, you got to sign a waiver there before the 9th inning so we can get those kids on the field after the game. Really fun to watch them. A lot of speed on the field this year after the game. That was fun. And, of course, I love the Extra Innings concert series. Why sit in traffic in Patrick's crazy parking lot? Because it is free parking, but, like any parking lot where a lot of people are leaving at the same time, it can take a little while. So why not just hang out with us, have some food, have some beverages, and listen to some great live music post-game. Yes. That was a lot of fun.
Slicer's Pizza made its debut yesterday. Pizza by the slice, only $2 after every game.
That's a good deal right there. And it keeps you out of traffic, so even better.
Even better. Well, coming up on the show, we were at the Welland Park Block Party last week as part of Welcome Week, and we had the chance to hear from all of you Braves country, so we'll take a look at that right after this.
Hey Braves country, it's a beautiful evening out here at Welland Park. Tonight we've got a Braves block party. That's right, we're gearing up for spring training and we want to get one of our favorite places on our neighbor Welland Park involved. We're going to be handing out hot dogs, t-shirts, hanging out with Palmer, and just saying hello to fans. Come along with us as we say, go Braves. squishy blooper. I like that. Well, we have a great lineup of spring training gear this year for 2026. I love the ice cream helmet shirt. That's really cool.
And the hat that matches.
And the hat that matches it. All right, Braves country, we have a Braves fan here and a newly recruited Braves fan, which are my favorites. You got to expand Braves country, and it's all about growing the game. Tell us your names, friends.
I'm Jason.
Allison.
Jason and Allison. Jason has brought Allison into the Braves culture. Allison, what have you learned about the Braves world so far?
Well, I know that it's just starting, and we're just going from there.
That's great, Allison. You're absolutely right. That's actually why we're out here tonight, because spring training's about to start, which, Allison, that means it's the beginning of baseball season. The boys are back in town. You're a new Braves fan. You'll have to get to know some of the players. What game are you looking forward to most this year?
The Red Sox, most definitely.
Those Bo Sox. Everybody looks forward to the AL East when they come through CoolToday Park. Do you have a favorite Braves player on the 2026 ball club?
Oh, you know what? I love them all. My friend knows the pitcher because she knows his mother.
Okay. So one of the pitchers is your favorite. Okay. Let's say Spencer Strider's your favorite
That's
Brave.
him.
That's him. There we go. Who's your favorite Braves player?
Acuna.
He says Ronald Acuna is his favorite player. Why do you like Ronald Acuna?
He's one of the best players.
He's fast.
Yep. And he makes incredible plays.
He's got a good arm.
And that 40-70 season that he had,
Do you think he could have a 50-70 season?
for sure.
All right, hey Braves Beach House podcast, friends and fans. We've got a live update here from you from the Braves block party at Welland Park. Harrison, tell us what we've seen so far.
Oh, it's been amazing. We just got done with our t-shirt toss. We launched t-shirts from the top of Oakenstone. They almost went in the lake. It was so
I saw
crazy.
that. It almost bounced in the lake. They'd have to swim for their t-shirt toss tonight.
That would have been the first swimming t-shirt toss. All about it. Palmer's here throwing beach balls, causing havoc. It's been a great time. I'm having fun. How about you?
We've seen some young future Braves throwing in the bullpen over here. They look sharp. I've had a couple dollar hot dogs. I'm not going to
yeah.
say how many, but you put a great price on a hot dog like that, they're going to get consumed. Those pink missiles went down pretty smooth. We've got a giveaway tonight of cups, t-shirts,
Pickleball sets,
cheese boards, koozies. It really is a block party here in Braves country, and we're having a good night. We got Gary Shute playing some music behind us.
Yeah, that's great. And we can't wait to see everyone at the stadium this year for spring training.
That's right, only a few days away. We'll see you there at CoolToday Park, February 22nd, as your Atlanta Braves take on the Minnesota Twins. Palmer's jumping off the inflatable chair back there, so we'll go ahead and get over there and rescue him. All right, Harrison,
Go Braves!
All right, Patrick, it's time for our new favorite segment.
I love this segment. It's What's in the Warehouse, and actually What's in the Concourse now, too, because this is the brand new spring training media guide for your Atlanta Braves. See, my man Drake Baldwin made it up there with his buddies Matt and Michael. The whole squad right there ready to go. Beautiful inside and out. Nice and glossy. There's a big article on Austin there. There's a nice article on Hank, Chipper, Warren Spahn, Greg Maddux.
There's even MC Patrick.
Did I make it?
And his own page.
Wait a minute. I finally made the program. 4 years with all this madness, and I'm in it. I didn't know that, Harrison.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll have
you.
to get your autograph.
I really love this this warehouse item this week. This is almost good as the beer cups, but maybe even better. Man, that's cool. And you can get these on the concourse when you come to CoolToday Park for spring training. And, hey, if you come find me, I'll even put the Herbie Hancock on there for you.
Yep, that's right. So $10 team store concourse. But right after this, let's go hear from Art, the voice of CoolToday Park.
All right, the Sultan of Sound, the maestro of Mike's Autoglass. We're going to throw it to Art Ross. Hey there, Braves Beach House Podcast. You're joining us today from the press box. It's our honor to have on the podcast the Sultan of Sound, the baritone of Braves spring training baseball, and the maestro of Mike's Autoglass for all your autoglass needs. Please welcome spring training Braves announcer Art Ross.
Patrick, how are you?
It's great to have you, Art.
Great to
Thanks
have-
for making
thank
a
you.
few minutes for us here today. Outside of the Braves Beach House podcast studio, actually kind of in your office where things go down during spring training as you're calling out names of both teams and all the special things and events we do here. What's it like being back in the ballpark?
I love it. This is not a job for me. It's a lot of fun. And working with all of you up here in the press box and seeing all the fans come in, that's the enjoyment I have, watching them interact with the players and us during spring training. And I really get a hoot out of the people that come here because it's an enjoyable experience.
Absolutely, and everybody loves working with you and hearing your voice and having that voice be a staple to Braves country for spring training. It's really an honor to have you here. We want to know a little bit more about you, and you did a lot in sports, but first we want to know where you grew up and what it was like growing up, where you did, and if you played ball and things like that.
Well, I'm from Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
All right.
We drink a lot of beer, eat a lot of cheese curds, and do Friday night fish fries.
Go Pack, go.
But yes, that's true. Pack is season ticket holders. I went to Madison.
Okay.
And wound up coaching high school basketball. I wanted to be a high school history teacher, so I was going for my master's in that area, and I got a call from a friend of mine who got a job offer in Europe coaching pro basketball. He was married at the time, had 3 kids, and his wife didn't want him to go, so he recommended me. And lo and behold, 2 days later, I got a call from Scotland at 3:30 in the morning, and I thought it was a prank call. There were
Right.
no cell phones then. So the guy calls, and I said, "Can you call back during normal business hours?" And I hung the phone up. I thought it was a prank call. At 8:30, the guy calls again. He says, "Is this normal?" And I realized it was the real deal. He had a Yugoslavian coach. They had a losing record. We talked about coming over. He says, "I just want to bring you over for a weekend, see if you like it. Just pack a light duffel bag." So he set me up with a plane ticket from New York to Glasgow.
Wow.
And when I got there, he says, "I'll have the Art Ross sign waiting for you." And he had it held up, and I walked over to him. I had my bag, and he says, "Is this all you have?" And I said, "Yeah." I says, "What are we doing this weekend?" He says, "Well, you've got practice tomorrow." He says, "One of your Americans is in jail because he accosted a Turkish woman in a restaurant. The other one broke his knee." He says, "You're minus 2 guys. We're 0-8, and I fired the Yugoslav." Wow. So I wound up staying for 7 years. I had to call my mother and have her FedEx my clothes over.
Yeah.
I said, "Mom, you know what suits I wear? Send them over."
You needed more than that light travel bag they told you. Wow, unbelievable.
That's how I got started.
And so how did that season finish?
We finished 3rd,
Okay.
got beat in the semifinals of the playoffs. So it was a good season considering how we started, and I just really enjoyed it. It was my most enjoyable coaching experiences were the early ones.
Right.
Because the Scottish players and the British players at the time, you're talking back in the 80s now, they played for very little money. They all had full-time jobs. You couldn't trade anybody.
Right.
Because the guy'd come home to his wife, kiss her goodbye, and say, "I'm going to basketball practice." We only played 2 games a week, so we had 5 nights of practice. And those wives had to be very understanding. A lot of them had small kids.
Wow. And so that's what's kind of started your international coaching career over there in Scotland. And I know you bounced around a lot of different places. Where was the next stops?
Well, it was England. You're always looking for a better job. When you're over there, you're looking for a better job because at the time, it's changed light years. But at the time, the rule of thumb was the contracts were useless as the paper it was written on. You got money, you got an apartment, you got a car. So when you got over there, you got money, you got less than what you thought you'd get. You got a semi-apartment, and you got the use of a car. So the language changed, and you had to put up with it because you were looking for a better place.
Right.
But I had good owners there, and I went from one job to another. I went from Scotland to England to Spain, Venezuela, Mexico, China, and Japan. And then I wound up with a couple of teams in the NBA scouting and assistant coaches. So I had my full. It was a great 22 years.
How many different languages do you speak being living in all those countries and coaching, which is something you're doing communication with?
Well, I picked up, you take language in high school and you don't learn a thing because over here they teach you table, chair, the colors and all that. I started getting back into Spanish when I was coaching in Scotland. My secretary came into the office and she says, "I've got somebody on the phone. I don't know what they're talking about." It wound up being a woman in Barcelona trying to book us a hotel because we were playing in Barcelona.
Okay.
My Spanish was rusty from high school, so I managed to book us in the red light district. And that wasn't good because
Okay.
my players wanted to stay out all night.
Yeah, kept him up.
And then I had to, at the time, there were no menus in English. So I had to order for my players, because nobody spoke Spanish. I had to order for my players off the menu. I ordered one guy squid. He wasn't happy. So it only got better from there. So
And no Google to use either. or
You couldn't
I mean,
Google
you
anything.
really were. It had to
No.
be light on your feet and be a quick thinker in those moments. I'm sure.
now I'm good with 3 or 4 languages in conversation, and then fluent in a couple of others.
Well, I've heard you speak to a few of our players in their native tongue, and some sophisticated Spanish you've spoken to Ozzy Albies and Ronald Acuna Jr. That's been pretty fun to watch you communicate with players in their native tongue. So I bet you were out there doing it back in the 80s all across the world, Art.
Well, I find that when you speak in their language, they commend you for trying.
Yeah.
So they will warm up to you a little bit more because they know that, say for example, you brought up Ozzy and Ronnie. They're in a different country.
Right.
And even though they speak English, it's still far away from home for them.
Absolutely.
So it's nice
gotta
to
be
make them feel
comforting,
comfortable.
yeah, and have the voice and the communication do that. That's what makes you you. Well, you mentioned the NBA a little bit. I got to ask a little bit about that. You weren't perhaps with the Los Angeles Lakers for a little while, were you?
I was. I got lucky. I wound up. I had no job when I came back from Europe. My wife at the time was pregnant and with our first child, and she didn't want to go back. I wound up coaching in the LA Summer League, and at the time it was just in LA. It was held at Loyola Marymount University, and NBA veterans would play just to stay in shape.
Oh, wow.
They didn't have to play, but they were encouraged to play. So you had guys coming and going. It's not like today where you have a set summer league team and you know your players going in. So at one time, I've had Byron Scott, for example, Dominique Wilkins,
Oh, wow.
Kevin Willis, and the next day Reggie Theus came in. So that's added to your team. It makes it a little more difficult because you're trying to get someplace as a coach, and you're also trying to institute some discipline in offenses. And I remember Reggie coming up to me one day. He says, "Coach, I can't come to the game tonight." I said, "Why not?" He says, "I'm going to be on Dance Fever." I says, "Are you remember that show, Dance Fever?" You're a little too young.
I know Dancing with the Stars. It sounds similar.
Well, Dance Fever was a preliminary to that, and the co-judges were Dom DeLuise and Phyllis Diller.
Oh, wow.
And I said, "You're missing a game with me for Dom DeLuise and Phyllis Diller?" He says, "Yeah, sorry, Coach. I'll see you tomorrow."
Hey,
so that's the way it was.
Dancing's part of that footwork that you need in basketball.
It
I
is.
wonder how he did on the show.
He did very well.
Yeah,
Reggie could move.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
He wasn't like back the next day, kicked off the show. Okay,
No.
yeah, he got some mileage out of that. And so at what point did you switch over to the PA announcing after all those years of coaching? I know you've worked with the Cincinnati Reds spring training, the Pittsburgh Pirates, of course, here with us at the Braves. What was that transition like, and some of your time in some of those other ballparks?
Well, it was a natural move from pro basketball to announcing. My son had suffered separation anxiety, and it was very difficult to be away from him. So I got out of basketball, and then I was floundering for a little while. I didn't know. I knew what I wanted to do, but there's also always that period of time. There's an adjustment period, as I call it, where you have to really map out what you're going to do. So I started with the Reds. It was actually the Sarasota Red Sox at the time, because the Boston Red Sox had the Sarasota Red Sox as a farm team, a minor league team. Then it graduated to the Cincinnati Reds, and then I moved down to the Pirates and the Braves finally. So I was 9 years with the Reds until they moved to Arizona, and then I went to the Pirates and was 7 years with them. And then I happened to get in with IMG Academy in basketball and football, and then with the Braves. So now I currently do the Braves and IMG.
I had to come see you call a game out at IMG a few years ago, and that was Mr. Ali Rue we saw. He's 7'9", at the University of Florida now, but that was one of the many talents that's come through IMG. Of course, I was excited to be there that day to watch you call it, but that high level of talent that they have over at IMG, and for you to be a part of that, we do always kind of talk a little bit about the developmental part of growing the game and any advice folks would have, but tell us a little bit about that kind of developmental process you see at a place like IMG.
Well, it's changed now. IMG has 22 teams, and I do the national boys and the national girls teams. So the national boys teams, really it's a senior laden class every year. And I give a lot of credit to Sean McAloon. He's a very young coach. He's a great coach. He could coach at any level. He's got a high IQ. He gets along with the players really well. And it takes a special talent, Patrick, to navigate your way through a whole roster of seniors every single year.
Sure.
He does it very well, and he sends them all to college.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. You're going, that guy's going to Syracuse. He's going to UNC. He's going to Florida. I mean, it was like pretty much everybody had some sort of ride, whether it was a full ride or, athletic scholarship. They were going places, and so that was cool to get a glimpse of them while they were still before they hit the higher education marks.
Well, Olivier's at Florida. Darius Akoff is leading the league, or leading the freshman team in college basketball. All the freshmen in scoring.
Wow.
There's 2 other players that are, one is at Georgia and one is at Alabama. So just from last year's class,
right,
we have 3 in the Southeastern Conference. So I go to a lot of games.
Yeah, unbelievable. And those guys, I'm sure, happy to see you when you show up.
I enjoy doing it.
Any of those guys made it to NBA status over the years?
Not in this last couple of years.
Okay.
There are a few others before I got to IMG that
Okay.
are in the NBA, but I'm sure these guys will. Darius Akoff, I believe, will be a first-round draft choice.
Oh, wow.
He's a little bit undersized. He won't be a lottery pick, but he'll be somewhere in the 15 to 20 range.
Maybe he'll end up in like Orlando or Miami so we can go see a game.
I'd love for it if he's in Orlando or Miami. He's
That'd be cool.
a great kid. They're all great kids there. The one thing that people don't understand is IMG, you have to go to class.
Yeah.
And you have 6 hours of your sport, 6 hours of your class. You can't screw around in class. You have to have good grades.
Right.
So all these kids coming out have gone through the testing, they have the good grades, and they're prepared for college educationally.
And they're spending a lot of time on their craft too, which always
They are.
seemed fun to go, knock your classes out, take it serious, but then you're playing your sport for 6 or 8 hours a day too, and that's certainly benefiting a lot of them. Well, that's great. Just bring it back to the Braves a little bit. 2026 is coming up. You got a great view up here. You do a great job on the PA for us. What are you looking forward to seeing from the Atlanta Braves in 2026?
Well, last year we were hit with injuries. We lost some guys. Some guys didn't have the best years of their career. I look for that to be a bounce back year. I'm very excited for what we've done in the off season. I think the coaching staff has changed somewhat over now with Walt Weiss as well. So that's going to be a nice first year for him. He'll have some guys coming in. I love Hefner as a pitching coach. So I really believe that we'll be in the thick of things, I think, all year long for that Eastern Division title.
Absolutely. I love the sound of that and agree with it. My favorite question I get to ask our guest, when you've been all around the world, this is an interesting one with you, because I ask them, what's your favorite concession item? Not necessarily just a ballpark, because you've been in basketball as well. Out of all the places you've been, maybe give me 2 answers. A signature ballpark concession item you got to get when you're at the game, and something maybe you've experienced in a concession in a different country.
I like our concession stands here.
Okay.
I think everybody is really good. There's not a place you can go and have a bad food item here. So I encourage all fans to try all of our venues that are right here at the ballpark. And then also in Atlanta at the big stadium. And I believe that those are my 2 favorite places.
Okay.
The only other thing I would say is the cheeseburger at Citi Field in New York. But it's $48. So get the regular hamburger, that's only $43.
Okay, hey, that's good advice right there. Save yourself a couple while you're at Citi Field. That's awesome. Art, thank you so much for making some time here for us today. We're going to call a fantasy camp game here coming up next, the championship game. They give those guys rings and a champagne shower if they win. So we know you got a big hour and a half ahead of you. Thank you for making a little time with us. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Art Ross on the Braves Beach House podcast. Art, say go Braves with me one time. Go Braves! That was really informative. We loved hearing from Art Ross. I just still can't get over this program. I'm actually in here twice so far that I found. But Art is a really talented PA announcer. I truly do admire him, and he's lived an incredible life full of sports, not just baseball. So we appreciate you watching there. Harrison?
Absolutely. I mean, people want to come see the stars at CoolToday Park. MC Patrick and Art Ross, they can do it this week. Today, we're taking on the Detroit Tigers at 1:05 p.m. Tomorrow, the Pittsburgh Pirates coming to town, also at 1:05 p.m. This Friday, we're taking on the Boston Red Sox coming to town here from Fort Myers. And then Sunday, another edition of Kids Run the Bases and Baseball and Brunch against the Tampa Bay Rays this Sunday, March 1st.
That brunch is awesome. Parfaits down there. Of course, they have the screwdrivers, the Bloody Marys. You don't want to miss Baseball and Brunch if you're able to get down there this week.
Yes, it's your last chance to do it this season, so make sure you come out this Sunday, March 1st for that one. All of our tickets are on sale now for the season at CoolTodayPark.com/tickets.
Come catch a game with us. It's the time of the year where the Braves are back and we have an exciting team to watch. Harrison, are we ready to send this thing home?
I think we are. Let's do it.
Say it with me.
Go Braves!